Friday night in Melbourne's Hardware Lane. Amidst the crowded outdoor tables, protesters, some wearing masks, make their way to Israeli restaurant Miznon. Chants of death to the IDF and shouting soon devolved into physical confrontations. David James owns the restaurant next door and watched the protest unfold.
It was an organised approach. There was 30-odd people marching down, beating drums, megaphones, screaming, "Kill Israel!" And this is in the middle of a dinner service, start of school holidays, family and children sitting here dining in iconic Hardware Lane.
For up to half an hour, protesters, Miznon staff, and the owners from a neighboring restaurant faced off. Witnesses say some diners were clearly shaken.
There was violence. There was people throwing over chairs. Some of their staff, I know, were inside crying. Inciting that fear into somebody in a simple dining setting, it's unacceptable.
Eventually, police responded in numbers. 3 people have today been charged with offenses, including assault. The violent confrontation at Miznon made headlines around the world and was condemned by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Today, the restaurant released a statement stating the protest has caused much distress. The events on Friday evening had a profound impact on our restaurant and staff. We are a restaurant, a place of hospitality, of warmth and welcome. We respect everyone's right to their own nationality and religion. We ask for the same. A spokesperson for one of the groups behind Friday's confrontation says Miznon was a legitimate protest target.
Protesters came through the lane chanting and drawing attention to the fact that Miznon is part of a restaurant chain owned by Shahar Segal, who is repping for the Gaza Humanitarian Fund.
The Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has been criticized by the United Nations and other groups after numerous reports Palestinians have been killed accessing aid. Gay DeManuel was at Miznon on Friday night. She has no regrets. Does that help your cause? Does it help your cause to be scaring diners on a Friday night in Melbourne?
Imagine lying on a hospital bed in a tent as a displaced person, or trying to keep your starving children safe in a tent.
But those people were they're just going out for dinner. They're just trying to have a nice dinner on Hardware Lane. It must have occurred to you when you've seen the coverage that a lot of people find this very objectionable.
Do they find the murder, maiming, genocide objectionable?
Friday's protest was one of 5 incidents targeting the Jewish community and a company with suspected Israeli military connections. Anti-Semitic graffiti was painted in 2 suburbs, and cars parked at a defense company alleged to have contracts with Israel were set on fire or damaged. In East Melbourne, a synagogue was attacked in an attempted firebombing. Police continue to investigate whether there are any links between the incidents. Victoria's Premier, Jacinta Allen, says the state will form an anti-hate task force to respond to the rising dangers of anti-Semitism.
If you consider, just as the fire came to the front door here of this shul, but it was stopped, so too must we put a stop to hate, put a stop to anti-Semitism. Not only does it have no place here in Melbourne and Victoria, it has no place anywhere.
Today, opposition leader Susan Lee accused the government of not doing enough to protect the Jewish community.
I want to know what Anthony Albanese is doing to protect Jewish Australians. I want to know what the government plans, because, as we heard today, words are not enough.
I spoke with Jewish community leaders on Saturday. Every time there has been a request, it has been met. And one of the reasons why this gentleman has been caught so quickly is because the CCTV that was in place there was as a direct result of Commonwealth government funding.
It almost looked like a ball that was a big inferno catching onto the doors.
When the synagogue's door was set on fire on Friday night, Rabbi Dovid Gutnick was actually well in the back. You were actually here having Shabbat dinner.
Yeah, we were dining here, We had some guests from Israel, guests from Europe.
The rabbi's 13-year-old son alerted him that something was wrong out front.
Yeah, so myself and one other congregant, Murray, we kind of came rushing forward, and as soon as we opened the door to the lobby, we immediately smoke is billowing through and little bits of flames coming under the door.
Thankfully, the fire department arrived quickly and extinguished the flames. One man has been charged. If he had managed to get the doors open, one of Australia's most historic synagogues, and numerous lives could have been lost.
Sir John Monash had his bar mitzvah right here at this podium, for example, the great general of the First World War.
This synagogue has been here for nearly 150 years. Rabbi Gutnick says there's never been an attack like this.
There's like kind of a realization that we are heading down a slope that has been seen at other times throughout history that have ended in terrible things, which I don't even want to articulate.
Instead, as unlikely as it seems, he prefers optimism. The attack follows the unsolved firebombing that destroyed Melbourne's Adass Israel Synagogue in December. But Rabbi Gutnick hopes this is a turning point.
Melbourne has been that ideal for all of my childhood and for all of my life here. I reckon we can get it back. So it's going to need a big response from our citizenry, a response from our leaders, a response from me, a response from you, a response from all of us. And I reckon we can go back to that harmonious community.